In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the new Direct Edit command inside Autodesk Inventor 2015. Now, Inventor has always been a history-based modeler. As you create features, they build up this history in the tree, and editing an upstream feature can obviously affect downstream features. Now, hybrid modelers are coming to the fore a bit, which combine history-based modeling with direct modeling. Inventor has just introduced the Direct Edit feature, which gives us this ability. So if I wanted to move, say, these slots and extend the length of this plate, traditionally I would go in and find the parameters that control the position of those features and adjust the measurements. Now, as you can see, because of the way I've constructed this could take a bit of work, because I've used patterns and that sort of thing, and there's no one quick dimension to change to get that effect. So in this scenario, if I were to use a direct edit, you can see I can pick faces or solids. So let's take the slots, and the end face, and you can see I have a little manipulator. Now if I tell it I want to move it in that direction, I can just simply drag that feature or group of features and it adjusts the geometry. There's also some ability to either scale those features or rotate them. So if I select rotate and then drag on one of these little controls, you can see I can actually rotate that face and the slots together, and that would be my end result if I clicked OK. But in this case, what I'm going to do is just drag those features out by a dimension, let's say 50 mil. I click plus, cancel the command, and you can see I now have a direct edit feature in the browser. If I was to suppress that feature, my part jumps back to how it was. I'll edit that feature now and show you a slightly different way to control the geometry. Now, because this is direct and not history based, I'm not editing a parameter to move them back to where they were. All I'm going to do is edit that existing direct edit feature, and I'm going to change where I measure the movement from. So I'm going to measure it from, I can pick this face, and now I'm effectively controlling the position of that edge of that slot based on this face. So let's make that negative 180, and you'll see the whole thing moves. If I don't want to use that point as my reference point, instead what I can do is pick a different face, and I can even click this locate command and put the reference anywhere I like. So I might use the center of that slot, and I want to measure from that face there, and now my reference is between that face and the center of the slot. So I might know that I want that to be 65, and unfortunately I haven't selected all the faces that I need, so I'll just edit that and pick the rest of them. So you can see as I add geometry to my selection set, the whole lot moves. And now we've moved the slots. Now you might ask, what happens if I create another direct edit and base it off some features that have just moved? So if I were to say move this slot, and measure it from that one, that slot is now effectively positionally based on that one. So if I were to go back now and delete the first feature, their positioning in the one direction will remain the same because the one is based off the other, but the two will move back together because the direct edit that affected them in the other direction is now no longer there. So it's intelligent about the way the references work. Another advantage of this new technique is when you select your geometry and decide to push or pull, that parameter can be a named parameter. So let's make this offset equals 25 millimeters, or maybe negative 25 millimeters. Now that parameter that I've used to offset the edge of that plate, I can go back into my parameters window, make an adjustment to it, and the edit updates. So you can see here, with no more features in the tree, we're making edits to an edit. It takes a bit of getting your head around because it's very different to the way you're probably used to working, but it provides some flexibility that you don't otherwise have with a history-based modeler. I haven't seen it used this way before, but I'm just wondering if there's potentially the possibility of using this for a sort of 3D markup where one designer could give their model to another who would provide some direct edits and maybe name the direct edit with something meaningful. So they could name this, try this. The next designer could have a look at it, see how the geometry's changed, perhaps see how that affects his assembly, and either, if he doesn't like it, get rid of it, or incorporate that same effect into the original model using a parametric change. So there's quite a sort of scope for new ways of working using these techniques. But so far I haven't managed to break direct edit. It seems to be pretty robust and reliable. So I hope that gives you enough of an understanding of the basics of it to get in and get started.